All right, guys, that was a good one today. Big statement win for the program. Big win for these Gators. Really proud of our team. I thought they did a good job. Made progress. Offense looked better. How'd you feel about the game?
I felt good.
What was your favorite part?
When Anthony Richardson scrambled that 60-yard touchdown.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
All right, guys. Got the young Gator right there in training. All right, so to start this one off, I just want to say I felt like we had a fast start today. A lot of penalties, one in spite of all the penalties that we had. Thought the guys fought through adversity during the game. This team never quits. They always keep fighting. I thought AR looked calm, decisive in this game. We beat a bunch of 5-stars, as Lane Kiffin would say. I know they had a lot of guys out, but we needed this win. Both these teams were playing desperate. Still a lot of talent that was on the field out there that we were playing against. That was a very, very good defense. We just put up more points on that team than anybody else has been able to do. 3 of our 4 losses are looking better every day. The run game looked really good in this game. Montrell and Etienne did their thing, almost 100 yards apiece. Montrell with the touchdowns. The RPOs looked excellent in this game. AR made quick, decisive, good decisions on the RPO game. I thought that was the difference on the offense in a lot of ways. He was just decisive, knew where he was going with the ball, knew when to tuck it and take off with it. He ran decisive. He threw the ball very well in this game, was finding the open man against a good defense. Not going to take nothing away from what we just did against that defense. We were shorthanded too, guys. We had a lot of players out. We've had a lot of players injured this year. We were shorthanded this game. Shorter wasn't in the game. Down Cox, down a tight end, playing them with the backups. I thought Frazier's had a really nice game. Had a beautiful fade, back shoulder throw, beautiful catch. Caleb Douglas stepped up big time, made a couple nice grabs in this game. The culture, we're building a culture with this program. I think Napier made a statement this week, getting rid of Cox was like addition by subtraction. I thought this defense actually played better with him off the field. Yuma Million, Justice Boone played a heck of a game. So I think that was a smart decision. We got to give credit to Napier for that. I think that was a nice culture move for this program. Defense made some progress. They still look pretty terrible in the first half. We do make every quarterback look good that we play, but we got to give it to them in the second half. It was 2 different teams today. I thought they were going to come out and make Haynes King look like the Heisman. The DBs have regressed, it seems like, as the year's gone on. And I blame Tony for that. But, the talent will help Billy in this offense and this defense. At almost every position, I think that next year will be an improvement over year one. I say props to Evan Stewart. He had himself a game. That was a big miss for the Gators when he went to Texas A&M. Mullen was actually recruiting him. He was a hair away from coming to Florida. Sure wish we could get that kid to transfer to the Gators, which I think is a possibility with Jimbo on the hot seat. I still think Jimbo's a good coach. I don't care what anybody says. I think we just beat a good coach and a good football team. Even though they're 3-6, they've played 1-score games all year and hung with some of the best teams in the country. Pearsall, what a weapon. That guy is talented. He is fast, elusive. Catches almost everything thrown to him except for that one he should have had. AR should have had another passing touchdown in this game if he wouldn't have dropped that. AR was throwing dimes. Just putting it right on the numbers on every throw. This was his best game of the year by far. AR's legs were definitely the difference in this game. The way he ran, that just makes this offense hum. He's definitely healthy. He wasn't limping. He was passionate. That 60-yard run was beautiful. They weren't catching him on that one. So I just think a lot of it's just he hasn't been healthy this year. And I think today really showed the difference in a healthy and unhealthy AR. The read option game was executed to a T. Like I said, I haven't seen us do it that well all year. Where's it been? I don't know. It hasn't been there this year. I think a lot of that may just be on AR. I think Billy's tried to establish, his base offense, and I think today he did mix it up a little bit. There was some shotgun. he did spread it out a little bit, had more than 2 receivers running routes. And I think that's why we were so successful in this game, especially in the second half. He actually made some adjustments and played for the win, which was nice to see. Defense, lined up, still too much space. I don't get it. I don't feel like they're teaching that. I think that's bad habits from Grantham. So, we're all going to give, Tony and Billy, a pass in year 1, 5-4. I think everybody's starting to feel a little bit better, but again, that was a really short-handed team that struggled this year. So I don't want to get too high or get too low on this one. But I do think it has to be old habits from, the Grantham defense. These penalties, man, in this game we were playing undisciplined. I don't know what that was about. We've been good with penalties all year, but football has gotten so soft with the targeting. I didn't like the targeting call in Texas A&M just because being a football guy, I don't like seeing how soft the game's gotten. I like to let them play. I feel like the refs affected this game and the officiating was terrible. I feel like a lot of it is why our secondary is getting torched sometimes is because you saw him pull up on one of the throws. I think it was one of our defensive guys. Maybe it was Trey Dean or somebody pulled up because he didn't want to get a targeting call. And that's good that he did that. But I honestly think that that's why there's so much pass-happy offense in the game right now. It's because DBs are so scared to get a targeting call that they can't play and get in a rhythm a lot of times. I thought the offensive line was good. Pass pro, I'd give them an A. The run game, blocking in the run game, I'd probably say B+. But pass pro was excellent. Had all day to throw back there. The running backs were doing most of the damage, making guys miss more so than the offensive line, making extremely big holes. They did open some holes up in this game, but I thought the running backs were just the vision, the cutting by ETN. That one cut that they replayed on ESPN was, that dude's an NFL running back. AR improvised well, making the pitches at the right time, timing those RPOs. That was one of the biggest keys to the game. I saw the offense have more flow to it. He knew when to tuck it and when to pitch it. That pitch to Montreal and that option play to the right was beautiful. He just looks more comfortable in the offense. Napier had more passion today. AR had more passion for once, had some urgency. I was okay with the field goal before the half with 4:04 to play. I take the points right there. I thought we were in a rhythm. I thought we were, playing smart football in that situation. Defense definitely had a few stops, bend but don't break, but I definitely think they stepped up today, got off the field on third down. We were not doing well on offense on third down conversions. Play calling still leaves a little bit to be desired there in some of those third and longs. But definitely improved. Tony definitely made adjustments in the second half. I thought the team as a whole improved in this game. A whole lot of fight on both sides of the ball. And when I say improved, that's not saying a lot for the defense. There's still a long way to go, but we know how talent deficient we are. Things will get better. The defensive line, was bad in the first half. They were getting gashed. But, man, they were getting pressure in the second half. We were putting 4 on the line and getting pressure with 4. And I think that's key in the future. We were sending some, a couple guys were getting home on the blitz. And I thought that really threw King off. That was a nice adjustment by Tony because King could not do anything under pressure. We were just shutting him down. He did, step up a few times in the hole and find a soft spot in our zone. Jason Marshall, man, he struggled all year. He was so bad in coverage, bad eye discipline. It's time to bench Trevez, and Perkins needs to be the guy there. He played a heck of a game. A lot of pass interference penalties in this game. Didn't like seeing that again, but some of those were just fluky bad calls in my opinion. 53 seconds left. Billy doesn't try anything before the half. That's been the theme all year. Didn't like the call there. Feel like you got to start being more aggressive. Give these guys some, light a fire under them before the half. Show them that you believe in them. Got to get points before the half. I don't like that. Getting conservative right before the half there, and he did say after the game that they could do a better job with that, so that was nice to hear. At least he's aware of it. Defensive adjustments in the second half were so big. Finally, we get some adjustments and we see a different, defensive lineup, different scheme, or just, making adjustments, period. Big win for us as a program, beating an SEC West team that's had our number in the past. Do feel like we are going to make a bowl game now. 8 wins is still possible. I do think we'll end up with 7 wins on the season. I said 8-4 before we started. Don't see us beating FSU. I'm watching that game right now. They're up huge over Miami. They still look like the better team on paper compared to us, so I think that's probably our next L. But I'd be happy with that. I don't want to lose to FSU ever, but if we can get 7 and win 8 in a bowl game, go 8-5, that's a success for a first year. Now, FSU is definitely beatable, so it can still happen. But if there is a game that's losable, it's going to be that one. Perkins has got to get on the field more. That dude is just better in coverage. He's just always making a play. He's always around the ball. He's better than Trevez. Staff's got to get better at, evaluating personnel. I thought, defensive tackle definitely needs help. We all know that. Defensive ends, I think, are going to be okay. I like the ends on this team in the future there, what we already have on the roster. And we've got backups coming in. Hendo's improving. Punt returns are getting better. He's made some nice plays in the return game. I think the adjustment, putting ETN at kickoff, was a nice move. Frazier stepped up big today. That back shoulder fade, that was an NFL throw and NFL catch. That was just beautiful. You couldn't dial that up any better. Look at these notes here. So, let's see. We scored more on A&M than anybody else this season. We just looked better on offense and defense. Said that several times, but it's true. Rylan Powell had himself a game, had a nice hit. Team hasn't quit all year. It's nice to see that. The culture is just getting better and better as the season's gone on. You got Anthony Richardson, 17 of 29 for 201 yards. I think he had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing, no interceptions. That's another big improvement from AR. Not turning the ball over, throwing it out of bounds when there's nothing there. I think he's really maturing. This was a pivotal game in his career. So just getting better, that's going to bode well for the rest of the season. Montrell Johnson's just a beast in this zone rushing offense. 23 carries. I love how, they've narrowed down the rotation at running back. 23 carries for Johnson, 98 yards, 4.3 per rush, 1 touchdown. Anthony Richardson, 6 carries for 88 yards, 14.7 yards per average, 2 touchdowns. ETN, 16 carries, 82 yards, 5.1. That dude's going to play in the NFL one day. He is just an elite running back, and we got a good one there. I'll take him over Trevante Citizen all day. Pearsall, 3 carries, 34 yards. I love that we used him a few times. Finally, he wasn't just running orbit motions for nothing. He got the ball in his hands, 11.3 yards per touch. The dude's just electric. He's got speed. And, man, that was a big-time pickup in the transfer portal. Wide receivers had a nice day. Pearsall, 3 catches, 65 yards, 21.5 average. Frazier's 4 for 50, 12.5-yard average with 1 touchdown. Hendo, 4 catches, 33 yards, 8.2-yard average, which is pretty much the expected numbers from him all year. Caleb Douglas, 3 catches, 25 yards, 8.3 average, and a touchdown. Let's see. Johnson had 2 catches, 20 yards, and Lang had a catch for 8 yards. I feel like we got to get the tight ends involved in the offense more. Field goals, 2 for 3. Had a long of 50. And Crawshaw, 3 punts, 134 yards, 44.7 average. He's been good for us flipping the field all year. Total offense, this is some good numbers here that we can be excited about. 502 yards, a total offense. And the reason for this, I feel like a lot of it, we haven't had a lot of time of possession and haven't hardly got to run any plays all year. So 201 passing yards, 301 rushing yards, 6.4 yards per play, which is nice. Third down's not good, 4 of 12 on third down. Like I said, the calls could get better there. We ran 78 plays total, and that was the difference. Actually being able to put the ball in our offense's hand, getting off the field. Time of possession, we had way more time of possession than Texas A&M, 37 minutes total. 2 turnovers in the game. Those were key at the end of the fourth quarter. Kept Texas A&M from getting back in this game. We're probably tops in the country, or one of the top teams in the country in turnovers. We just need to keep that up, especially with the way our defense is playing. We're going to need those going down throughout the rest of the year. Anyway, big game for the Gators, guys. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Go Gators.